Education. God, I can't even do the proper introduction right. Oh my gosh. Oh man. What's good, y'all? How's everybody doing?
Welcome to Extra Toppings.
Oh, I forgot. Like I'm on camera. I used to be off camera. I was about to reach for something. I can't. How's everybody doing? How are you today?
I'm good. I made it here. This is the highlight of my Friday. So Fridays are good days, but they're even better when Extra Topping comes on. So.
Okay, that's how rich people live and go about doing things, because everything is fabulous and they're rich. So
yes.
Not really
Rich
much to
in
say about
spirit.
that. How was your week?
My week was good.
It was good?
Yes.
Something different about you. I'm looking at it before the
It's not the haircut?
No, that's not the haircut.
Oh.
I've seen the haircut.
I was trying to get my hair done today. I get my hair done tomorrow, but I have mastered coming outside without a hat on with the short hair. Like I'm getting it together. It feels good. I do this a lot. Like I don't feel the braids and the weave and the wigs.
So you're enjoying the new?
Yes, I really am.
It just took 20 years. All right.
It took forever. Yes.
I mean, like I say, you love it, I like it. There's nothing wrong with that. Fabulous as always. That's good. So, everyone, welcome to Extra Toppings, where we throw our own little sprinkles or way of doing the hot topics and the current events. And he always brings some great stories to us. So what are we going to start off with today?
Well, I'd like to start with some good news.
Good news.
Over the last couple of weeks, everyone has been heart-wrenchingly watching the When They See Us film by Ava DuVernay. It is not the first time that this story has been done. There was a documentary done on it. But
yeah,
this
I want to
one,
talk about that too. Yeah.
This one was really good. Because it wasn't a documentary, it was a drama.
Right.
And it was really the ability to put yourself in their shoes. I kept thinking, what if this were my son? What if this were my man, my friend, And it's unfortunate that it took this long to come back around, but it's better late than never.
Because the documentary was actually done in 2012.
Yes.
And then with 2018, so you got a 7-year difference. I'll be honest, I still haven't watched it yet because I don't want to. And it's not because I don't think of the event as being important or the, the whole situation itself. I'm just tired of seeing black saying shit type films. Maybe I'm going to watch it, but I'm really taking my time. I'm tired of seeing the slavery movies. I'm tired of seeing all over and over again.
But I don't think this is the same thing, because this is something that is going on today. It's still going on now.
That is true.
And we have to use this as a tool to figure out how to combat this problem, because again, we have sons, we have cousins, we have brothers, and I think the young men nowadays, with the murder of Nipsey Hussle, that was a major travesty and a tragedy that we face, that can bring some change, and I think this is similar to that.
Okay.
The change that has come in increments, and the job is always there for us to do. So the Black Columbia Law Students, which is the Black Law Student Association of Columbia University, have forced one of the prosecutors, Elizabeth Lederer, to resign from her post at the university as a professor. And I think that's awesome.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's awesome, I thought of what could come out of her resigning, because she's one person, right? But it shows the power of media, because without that film, I don't think that would have
Well, that is true because when the documentary was actually released in 2012, at the time the students didn't call for her job.
Yes, they did.
And this prestigious university obviously declined.
Right.
And she still was able to lecture black and white potential law students. She's even did books.
Yes.
And it's a pretty good six-figure salary to teach at this prestigious law college or that you want to call it. I don't know if I really want to give the school credit. I'm really upset at the school now. I love what this film has done. This film has got this young lady, well, she's not young anymore, but they've got this lady taken out of a position of power to teach, where you're like, okay, well, what was he teaching? Was he teaching actual law, how to get away with wrongfully convicting someone? But a lot of people not a lot of people, but one of the articles and the movie portrayed the young lady in the front here as being a little more compassionate to that one in the back that got backlash, like I don't know what, hated, and she lost her book deals and her award that she was given, she was forced to give back. I'm not really happy at these organizations that gave these ladies this high-powered position to teach or book deals, because this information has been out there for a very long time.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't all come at the same time. So you had the case happen. Although there was never DNA evidence, there were confessions, and we see that that's really what messed these boys up.
Right.
So people believed they were guilty. So years later, when the actual perpetrator came out, and it's just by chance that he was locked up with Corey, one of them. And he was saved in prison, and now he's a believer, and he felt the need to tell his story, that he was the person that did it. And even after that, it had to be another investigation. There was like a 50-page report done to prove that they still had nothing to do with it, because initially they were thinking, okay, well, he raped her, but they may somehow have still been involved. So they didn't want to give, totally, because that would make them look bad.
I think it's more lines, especially when you're looking at a case like this. And this is a case that made these two ladies' career. It helped catapult them to multi-million dollars in book deals and millions of dollars over years and years of teaching. If you go back and you want to question it, then you're starting to mess with your finances. Whether it's right or wrong, you have individuals who, because a lot of times you literally have to fight. Now, we talk about all this new technology where you can sample this and sample that and know who did it, who didn't do it, and the race and the culture of an individual. But these cases that are being convicted, you don't see these individuals actually going back and redoing these cases because they don't want their cases tampered with. Even though it can make someone who was guilty to be innocent, but they don't really want to go back and start messing with a lot of these cases.
Well, imagine how many other people are sitting in prison that are innocent.
And that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's going to cost a lot of money.
Justice, like Trump, should it Trump? Even though I say Trump said he still believed the father guilty. But when do we start weighing actual innocence wrongfully convicted over finances?
Well, the institution of law is still an institution in this country that has been built on the backs of our blood. So it's institutionalism you know, to break it down, I mean, just over the last couple of years where they've removed statues from parks, you know, this is a process that's going to take a long time. And who's going to spearhead it? Not the people that are guilty of this. It's young blood, these young law students. It's the people who want to make a difference.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. And that shows the power of unity as well. Because just like the powers that be do not want these things to happen, the group of us who want to take a stand and do something about it have to come together, because they're not gonna turn that information over.
Right.
It's forced. This has to be forced, and that's the power of perseverance.
So would you give a hand to, let's say, Netflix for allowing this kind of movie to be shown on their
I would definitely
a network, or would you compare it to the Nike Kaepernick thing when, you know, nobody wanted to touch him?
Right.
Nike said, come on, bring that over here, and obviously they made a boatload of money.
It's still business at
Right.
the end of the day. But if you look at other institutions that don't care about money more than they care about racism,
Oh, absolutely.
then they would not take the money just in order to keep a lie going.
Right.
So of course you have to give them credit for that. Because at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. So, you know, yes, Netflix put this out there, and it's gotten such a positive response that, you know.
I haven't heard anything bad about it from the acting,
Right.
from the actors, the actresses, and you know, it was great. And I might have to break down and
You
finally
better.
watch it.
You just have to.
I'm tired of seeing this type of.
Me too. When you say slave movies and, you know,
I mean, just like
I'm
people losing me.
Right.
You know,
But that's
kind
not
of
what this
thing.
is. That's what I'm saying. That's not what this
I mean,
is.
you have black and Hispanic, brown individuals who were wrongfully done by white people. I mean, I'm not saying it's chains and whips and, you know, pick that cotton boy, but it's the same where you have white people that have wronged these black people,
But
and it's taken all
if
these
you
years
didn't tell
later.
this story.
And they gave me money out of it.
Yes, they
much
won
money
a
did they get?
lawsuit. They won
From a
millions
lawsuit.
of dollars. I don't know, you know, when you win millions of dollars, I don't know how long it takes to get the money. I don't know how much you have to, I mean, of course, you still have to pay taxes to the government who wrongfully convicted you in the first
If I
place.
wouldn't touch the tax. I wouldn't tax that one. Alright, so in 2014, September 5th, they settled for $41 million.
Okay, $41 million between five. So that's $8 million apiece.
You know what bothers me about
that's
shit?
eight. That's
I mean, it's
still
$8 million. You know what bothers me about shit like this? You had Hulk Hogan who won $160 million for a fucking sex tape. You have people who were wrongfully convicted and in prison for what? One did 16 years? The most I think it was? And then he gets 8 mil?
Well, they actually made more money off of the Netflix movie as
Yeah,
well.
of
I think
course,
they
yeah,
made
sure.
another $5 million or something like that. But at the end of the day, there are young, black, Hispanic.
Okay, some of them got different money. Okay, I'll pause again.
Okay, so you still have people sitting behind bars who now have hope, who can, I mean, there are projects like the Innocence Project that are doing these things behind the scenes. We don't hear about all of these cases.
Right, there's a lot of.
There are people
this is
getting
a
out,
major-
there are people, yes. But I do want to say on the flip side of the power of media unity and perseverance that there is a weakness of excuses, I can't, superficiality, institutionalism, and self-hatred. And until we get past that, this is still going to be a possibility. Because if we said, oh, it's been too long, or oh, they're not, you know, if we don't, this is a cost to bear that we have, you know, we just, and although we don't like it and it's uncomfortable and we just want it to be gone, we can't sweep it under the rug because we're the ones suffering.
I've always said if you truly want people to start paying or feel bad about doing stuff, you actually have to incarcerate. So my thing is, if you knew these guys were innocent and you still went through and created evidence, that's a crime.
Right.
Why aren't these two individuals incarcerated? Or will they eventually be incarcerated?
Maybe that's the next step. If they can prove that they, I mean, we already know that they tampered with the evidence. We already know that they changed the whole crime scene.
So why is
That's
the
a crime.
involved? Shouldn't they be involved, like a certain case like this, or you know, the Attorney General itself getting involved, and when you have someone in position of power, someone who takes the hypocritical oath, and they lay down this foundation of, you know, lies and all this other stuff, and they're not being. And I was saying,
But
like,
don't sleep on the Columbia law students because they said this is just the beginning. So
I did
wouldn't
read
be
that.
surprised.
I did
That's
read
the
that.
next step.
What kind of years do you think if they would be? What would they be looking at? Maybe 1 to 2 years? I mean, like, what would they be looking at? Probation? What prosecutor's really going to prosecute these two individuals?
Well, you know what? For people like this, which is also like thrill seekers, because now with the last serial killer who shot up his job in Virginia.
You want to call him a serial killer?
Well, he killed a bunch of people.
I would call him a bad guy.
As long as you kill a number of people, you're a
Yeah,
serial
but he killed
killer.
the people that pissed him the fuck off.
Yes, but he still killed more than 2 people.
Right. That's just I would get.
But what I'm saying is they refuse to give him, you know, normally you find out about the person, they tell you how they grew up, or they give this person the press and the media that they were looking for. Some people want to go out and smoke and have their 5 minutes of fame and be done with it because they live such a horrible life and a horrible existence. These people are so arrogant that just the exposure itself can destroy them. So, you know, just the fact that she had to resign is not enough, but it's good.
It's a start.
It's a start.
That's what I need more. You know, that what this happened in what, 89? Am I mistaken?
89, yes.
So we're talking a lot of years where these two individuals were allowed to walk free, eat, sleep, shit, make money. I need more. I need a lot more. I really need.
Let's watch it then.
I can't get excited.
That's your homework. But so we meet next week. I want to find out if you watched it.
Probably not. But eventually, I will get to it. I got a lot. Jessica Jones just came out today. I got a lot to catch up on. But I want to watch it. This film has really affected this day and time. If you have a movie or photo or movement that's that powerful, you have to be a part of it. So I'm definitely gonna watch it.
And hopefully there's a little boy, 15 years old, who when his friends say let's go out and let's do this, he's gonna think about this movie and he may not go jump and follow the crowd because of what can possibly.
See, that's what like that. This is that kind of like, to me it's like a double-edged sword. Because my thing is, you shouldn't have to deal with long repercussions. And that's what I mean, where you have something that happens and you have the right technology these days that would exclude these young men.
Right. Well, they had the technology back then.
They're not going to do it, but it's just like, okay, it was that day and age, 89, where I guess you were allowed, or was a lot, it wasn't as bad as it is today to be a full-blown ass racist. It was a little more better for you to be a full-blown ass racist back then it is today.
Well, no, Trump has made it very vogue in.
Trump ain't never come out and really say the word nigga and a whole bunch. He's been very careful.
You know,
He's just saying simple, yeah, but he's doing it the right way. He's being like, hey, I still believe they're guilty. He's not going up and he's what do you say? He's coasting the line or tap dancing around it, or he's right on the cusp. You know what I mean? Of being full blown, everyone knows, but he ain't really actually saying it. It's just like the South. You know, but in the South, like, you know where not to go. It's different up here. Up here, you're not really sure what you're gonna run into because there are people who hide it well. But in the South, you know exactly who's what and where's what. So I'm going to watch it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we wish these guys the best.
I want to say this. I want to know what these guys have done. I'm going to do a lot of research, a lot of reading. I want to see what they have done since the situation. And
They're doing a lot of speaking engagements.
And now I want to see how things have picked up. Because I love how it hasn't. Because the movie on Netflix has been out for about 3-4 weeks now, and it doesn't seem like it's dying down. It's like it continues to pick up.
I think what's really, one of the really upsetting things about the fact that they did time, they got out, they were innocent, but they were still sex offenders, so they couldn't even get jobs. And some of the, I think 2 of them went back to prison for drug cases and stuff like that because it totally ruined their life. So although they don't get that time back, this is at least they're able to get the recognition that they deserve.
It's something done towards justice where these 2 individuals that had a firm hand, obviously they weren't the only ones, but had a good hand in the conviction of them. Actually get to see these people be a little uncomfortable. But I can say, I don't care how tough you are, but as a 13, 14-year-old going to jail with grown-ass fucking men.
And we don't know what really happens to them.
Absolutely. So when you come out and deal with the real world, and a lot of them surprised, all of them were hooked on drugs or whatever. I hope the little more justice you gentlemen have received helps you sleep just a little bit better at night. And again, shout out to the Columbia, the law movement there, that have accomplished this, and they have promised that this is just the beginning of things that they are trying to accomplish. And help see more justice come to these individuals. I would really like to know if they can sue civil cases now. It's similar to remember when OJ got acquitted, but he was still convicted in civil court, so you have to pay the family all this money. Can these guys?
That would be a good idea.
Can these guys go after these ladies now for civil damages for the situation and stuff they've been going through? So we wish y'all the best.
Absolutely.
We're going to keep reading the story. We're going to keep on it. And with every show, we'll give you updates on this story and past stories that we discussed.
Yes. And speaking of getting money back, let's talk about Miss Cardi B. So,
you're a boo-boo.
Well, I try to label some of my stories, and this I labeled the weakness of celebrity, and I'm being, it's really ironic when I say the weakness, I'm really being sarcastic because her celebrity is so powerful that whatever Cardi B says, everybody's gonna do. So maybe it's gonna be a turnaround that we won't see everybody getting butt implants anymore, and everyone will just be happy with the natural skin that they're in, because Miss Cardi B has determined that she's not getting any more plastic surgery. So what happened is she had her baby Culture, and she felt that she needed a breast augmentation and a tummy tuck. So she got liposuction, she got breast augmentation, because sometimes when you breastfeed it makes your breast droop. And she said, this is going to mess up my image. So she went and had surgery, but the problem is she didn't want to sit down and recover. She wanted to go touring. And as she was touring, her body started to react and respond to her being out there when she should have been resting. And she had to cancel a lot of shows.
Right.
And she went on stage at one concert and said, I'm not supposed to be out here because of my surgery, but I'm trying to get my money back, as if she needed her money back. I mean, lipo is not that much money.
Right.
She's probably going to the best doctor. I don't know if she goes to Dr. Miami or not. But, the point is, we need to be a little bit more cautious of what we put on these celebrities in terms of their intelligence. Because Cardi is one person. She's not a goddess. You know what I mean? She may look like a goddess. I don't have any problem with her. I have a problem with the fact that we can't be individuals. Like, we give them too much power and too much authority over our lives. She's just a person. She's human. So she decided to get surgery, and everybody's been getting surgery, and now she decides not to. So now, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if she became the spokesperson for natural bodies now, and just like Nicki Minaj she was a cyber bully and was able to get a deal behind being a cyber bully. So, be a leader, not a follower. That's the weakness of celebrity. We are so weak by these celebrities that, all they got to do is decide to tell us to do something. We're all running out to do it. So it's not a bad thing. Maybe it'll help some of the young girls out here who are dying. Not even just young girls, women in general, who are going certain places for, inexpensive surgery and end up not coming out of it. I don't think that was. I don't think this was a public service that she decided. I think this was totally an individual situation. But hey, it's Cardi B. We love anything she does, right?
I've always liked Cardi. I've never really had any issues or problem with her. I do say that I think her mental, even on Love and Hip Hop, was a problem, was an issue. She's always talked about her teeth and how it messed with her self-esteem, and sure enough, when she got a couple of dollars, the first thing she went and got fixed was her teeth. She had a lot more freaking work done, people. Okay, her face is, I don't give a freak how much weight you think she's lost. Her face is totally not the same. Okay, liposuction does not give you a six-pack like that. Well, it can. I hope it scares her. I'm not saying it's going to stop women from getting plastic surgery. I always say, look at the difference of Kylie Jenner. Like, it's a complete 180 of how she looked prior to how she looks now. It's not even the same people, which is why you don't even see photos of how she used to look anymore. They scared of the Kardashians, you know what I mean? They can shut the place down. I think this would make people do it more now.
Really?
She doesn't say she regretted it. She regretted losing a couple of dollars or having to cancel tour. And there's another rumor behind why she had to cancel tours. And then a lot of people say it wasn't because of the surgery. It's because she's unable to sell concerts out anymore. Getting a lot of backlash for her ghostwriting. But I would have felt more sorry if she took the implants out. Then I would feel sorry for you. They were fake to begin with, so you're gonna help fake boob sag when I don't know. Like,
I don't think she's not taking them out. I don't think.
I love her personality. I think she's real. A lot realer than a lot of these other individuals out there. I love the fact that how she turned her life around, and meant it and wanted it. I don't care if she has ghostwriters or not. I like her music.
What type? Do you think she's a good performer though?
I've never seen her perform. I've seen her perform one song. And I wasn't live. It was a recording when she did Forever. And that's when I knew that she was about to take it to the next level, where she couldn't even sing the song because the crowd was singing for her. And I was like, she's about to blow the hell up. I think she does put on a great show. She likes to twerk. You know what I mean? She interacts with the crowd.
But see, that's the thing. You say I don't dance no more, but you're still twerking on stage. So yes, you are still dancing.
It's different because those who've never been to strip club, it's different. Your whole mindset is to be as sexual as possible to get this individual to come out of their pocket. You know, you have some people who get so bad they have to actually leave their wallets in the cars. And you know, there are ATMs in the strip club now. You know, back in the days they didn't have them, and now it's like 3 or 4. They want you to do that. But it's different from stripping the club being on stage. You know, she's not waiting for someone to throw dollars at her. She's already got her money by the time she walked in the concert. I mean, the concert, and she's performing. She got her money already. It's a big difference to me. But yes, she is still performing. She is dancing, but she's dancing to her music.
Right.
You know, Juicy J. I mean, and popping and having complete strangers slapped on her buttocks. I would hope this would, you know, more natural, like you said. That six-pack you can get for hard work in the gym. You know, I don't really feel as bad as other people say they want to lose weight and they can't. Yes, you can. Put in the time and work and effort to lose it.
It costs money to go to the gym.
No, it don't.
To go to the
gym. It don't
gym.
cost money. Their gym memberships for $20. It's free to work out at home. A lot of people just make every excuse in the world to not
I
do
guess I'm making excuses.
There are 10-minute workouts out there, literally, that you can do, and they work. You just have to be consistent with it. And yes, you do have to change your eating habits. I'm not saying I don't believe in diets. I don't believe you starve yourself. But it's just more honest. Yes, you have to watch what you eat. You have to really put towards the effort to want to lose the weight. It's how it is. But I'm happy she's fine. I would say, be a little more cautious. Stop worrying about what other people think. You're married. If your husband loves the way you are, that should be the only person that matters. It shouldn't be the entire world. Because, I remember when she did the red carpet thing and they stretched her vagina.
Right.
You know what I mean? Make it look like. But so there are a lot of links people will go through to try to make someone else look bad.
But I think she still has that insecurity because
great.
money doesn't take that.
It brings more and more.
Right.
And I think,
Because she's always having something to prove. She always has to answer to everything that people are saying about her.
Yeah, because you're in the media,
that comes with the territory.
Your photos being taken all day, every day, and there are a lot of people out there who are in similar situations that you are in the strip club, and not as popular as you, and not even popular as Jocelyn Hernandez. You know what I mean? So. Right. There are haters out there that think they're all more talented than you, and they probably can. You just popped at the right time. Whether it was for the love and hip hop situation.
So let's understand that she's an entertainer. She's not an authority. That's the only thing she's who she is, and she has a right to choices that she makes in her life. But I don't know why we have to have such a cult following. Like, even back when everybody was falling out over Michael Jackson, I think Michael Jackson was talented, one of the best entertainers in the world. But he's not God.
I think it's more of you have a lot of people who feel that they can relive their lives or better their lives through someone else by imitating them or loving and liking them. And I remember just scrolling on Beyonce's page one day, and you literally have people begging her just to say happy birthday to them. And that would make their day, it would change their entire world.
That's sad.
But it just goes to show
That's sad.
Also, look at
if your life doesn't mean enough to you without a celebrity validating you.
well, I mean, look at Steve Harvey. When we talk about celebrities, like there are people who go on his show when he had one and ask for relationships advice.
Right.
That's the last motherfucker in the world I'll take a relationship advice from. I was
We could talk about that for days. I mean, when someone has had experiences though, and they, you know, they mature, and now they talk about how they were. That's different. I mean, because he's taking years of what he's gone through.
I understand what you're saying, but it's not. He wasn't telling people what to do, what not to do. It was just more like, don't do what I did. It was just more, this is the right way to do it. No, like, I learned from me. You see what happened to me, you know, along those lines, yeah. But I'm sorry, I'm not taking it marriage advice from this guy who left 2 wives for his side pieces. And because of his latest wife is the reason why he's going through a lot of the losing of jobs that he is now, because of her ties to criminal organization X-Men. You know, and that's what's losing him his jobs now, or hurting his pockets or whatever, because she only dated drug dealers, kingpins. I mean, so it backfired.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But why is that affecting his position if she's
Because it's just like we always tell, like, you know, our kids or whatever, we tell them, when you follow a certain crowd, whether you're this way or not, you're going to be caught into that circle.
Yeah.
This is a woman who only dated drug dealers and kingpins, people who had a lot of money. She married Steve. What does that say about Steve? Are you a drug dealer on the low? You know, like, there's a lot of questions. And maybe I'm wrong as heck, but he's going to be thrown right into that boat with him.
But at the end of the day, everybody has their moment, and it doesn't last forever. Everybody goes through that. Cardi B is going to sit down, just like Nicki is still, you know, Nicki Minaj is always going to have her fan base.
Right.
And Cardi B is going to have her fan base, but there's going to be somebody else that's coming up behind Cardi B. I mean, that's how it is.
That's who she's beefing with now.
Okay, so you have Steve Harvey, who at one moment took over. He had a monopoly on everything.
Yeah.
We need a new face. We need a new
Here's the
person
thing.
in
I
there.
think he's phenomenal at what he does. As far as the TV shows and things of that, I would have liked for him to lose a yes because there's someone better, younger, but that's not why he lost it. You know.
Yeah, but again,
These are just $1 billion organizations that just don't want to be associated.
just like with the Central Park case, your past sometimes comes to haunt you. It comes back to haunt you. You get over, you get away with it, but every dog has its day.
Great.
Speaking of dogs, let's talk about Bow Wow.
Oh my gosh. Do we have
So
to?
we have a little doggy, and his name is Bow Wow. Although we took the little off of Bow Wow, he's
That is true. Like,
he's
why
still a
do we-
little boy to me.
Why do we, we stop? I know about the stop, but he will always be that to us.
Yeah, because first of all, I'm sorry, he's short, so he probably has the Napoleon complex. That's why he's always trying to impress. He's always trying to overindulge, and
My favorite was the jet thing when he was in.
Right, he embellishes
He
all
was
the
in
time. He
He was in
embellishes.
the first, not even first class. He was a coach.
Right.
So when one of his fans took a picture of him, like, what the hell are you talking about, Jets? He's sitting in front of me.
Right. So, this is again why we place too much emphasis on celebrities. They are people. And with this story, we have 50 Cent and Bow Wow in the strip club. And Bow Wow's counting some money. And basically, him and 50 are going back and forth because 50 is so messy, and I just don't know when we are going to call him on his bitch assness. I think that a lot of the stuff that 50 does is some bitch ass shit, and if somebody else did it, like Chris Brown, we'll get to that story, it would not be accepted. Because we like power, and it's a good show, 50 gets the carte blanche to do whatever, say whatever he wants to do. Tiara Marie is a great example of him putting this woman's picture up. He has millions of followers, and he's still not held accountable for that. If it was somebody else, they would have lost that case, but he won the case. So it's, of course, we know there's always been a double standard, and money talks, and money, power, respect, as we know. Because he has the money, he has the power, and I just can't respect him though. Like I would love to get some of that production money that he's getting and have him produce one of my shows, but because he's not going to, I can say what I want to say about him. But I just feel like, okay, so they're warring, and Bow Wow says, I've been getting bitches before him, I was on TV before him, I was the man before him. And that happens to be true. So because he said I was getting bitches before him, and because they both had Ciara, now 50 wants to go online and say, did Bow Wow just call Ciara a bitch? I mean, come on, how superficial and small-minded can you be? Just because they both had her, that he was, I mean, it could have been a dick. It could have been, because he had Ciara first. But at the end of the day, I only have one question about this story, and that's, how could Bow Wow steal money from 50 Cent? He's saying that's his money.
Right.
How? How they're not telling us that part?
I just think this is 50 and 50, and I've always been a big fan of 50. I love the fact that, when you have individuals who don't just talk and they live their life by it. And people say a lot of shit as they want about 50, but they know that motherfucker real. He's nice with the hands, he's a big dude.
Right. He's a bully.
Pretty much, but he backs his shit up. Like, he never backs down, and you gotta love that.
So was that okay that the guy comes up to him and tries to talk to him with his music and asks him to watch his go to his
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So he says to him, it's not gonna work. And he's like, what do you mean it's not gonna work? It's not gonna work because you're stupid. Like, well, because he had the courage to go up and approach 50 Cent, he's stupid?
There's a time and a place for everything. And it's just like, there are a lot of people who would love to get autographs from stars when they're with their kids, and they feel some type of way about it. So I understand you ran into the person and you ask, and if they feel some type of way about it, you apologize and keep it moving. I think what bothered, and a lot of people understand, like, because I'm from New York, and New Yorkers have a lot different mentality than a lot of places in the world. I think once he told him it's the wrong situation, the guy should have just took that and tried to move on. But, you're not going to back this dude down. He's not going to do it. So if you come at this guy aggressive, he'll come at you aggressive also. And it's not like he was out with his boy. He's out on a date with his girl.
It's not his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's who he's messing with right now. So it's just more lines up. This is the wrong time, wrong place, homie. There's another time and a place for it. When he said no to I apologize, is there any way, or who can I get in contact, and maybe if you have time on a later date, you can listen to it. But I guess, the guy, I'm not saying, he feels tough, he's a tough guy too. And no matter how short he was or whatever. And he felt like he feels some type of way. He started to feel some type of way. So he wanted to get into a situation like, so you're getting aggressive, I'm getting aggressive. And I'm already an aggressive person to begin with. So I think, again, there's a time and place, like, you're an actor, actress, and you produce and write and stuff, and you out with your kids, the last thing you want to deal with is certain situations.
But if you know that that's what your life is, you have to accept it.
That doesn't mean just because, like, there are like Jay-Z who can't walk to the corner store. That doesn't mean, like, just because he's out with his family, it's the only time you saw him, it's the time you approach him. Like, there's a time and a place. And what that gentleman should have realized at the end of the day, you can get a record deal, or you can be a successful artist without a record deal. It's about you putting the time and effort to your craft, and then your number one is your media presence. have the followers, you know, you have the views and the listens, and there are different ways he can go about boosting his career. He would make more money being a solo than trying to be signed by GE. So again, I just think it was this gentleman who picked the wrong time and place and the wrong individual to try to muscle. Now, as far as this Bow Wow shit, I think Bow Wow is one of the saddest individuals in the game right now. This is a guy who was the man at the age of 8, 9.
Well, that's the child actor syndrome.
It's not that. I just think it's just more lines of the fact that he didn't have his father in his life, and the fact that he had his mother as a manager. And I always tell people, as a parent, you have to realize, are you going to be a friend, or are you going to be a parent? Unfortunately, a lot of these parents are trying to be their kids' friends instead of their parent. So then you have his mother who's trying to be a friend, a parent, and a manager. And then you have to tell your child no, not because it's not what a parent would want, because it's the wrong business move. And that really hurt their relationship. And they don't have the greatest son-mother relationship because of the business situation. Right? So, and the fact that his father has substance abuse, and you know, he's trying to rekindle something with his father, and it may not be working because this guy's just so scorned.
Yeah.
You know, and look out.
I'm just proud of him for sticking up to 50.
He's not sticking up to 50, doing that 50 on motherfucking Instagram. Like, even though I would say Gunplay, I would give Gunplay a little more credit because he kind of approached 50, even though he got dragged for it. Shit's more lines like you actually stood by to the person's face and did it.
Right.
You know, you have a lot of people that talk hella shit, just like, you know, Offset talk hella shit to Chris Brown. Chris Brown, just my address, meet me, motherfucker. I'm saying.
Speaking of Chris Brown, I mean, I want to end with anyone who knows why 50 is saying that Bow Wow took his money and how that's possible. Please let me know.
I think this is just 50 being 50.
He's just trying to say.
I think it's just, again, it's just like 50 just doing what he does, making trouble, having fun, fucking with people, and he know that there's a lot of people that maybe can't, verbally say, but they're not gonna touch him.
Well, all hail 50. I guess I'm gonna have to bow down too, because for some reason Chris Brown can't do what 50 Cent can do. Because if 50 would have told Karuchi to style your man, everybody would be like, yeah, 50, you're right, look at him, he look like a clown. But if Chris Brown does it, it's a problem. So,
I mean, I would tell Chris, be careful. Take the New York Giants away, take the Super Bowl championship, take the salsa out of it. This motherfucker's from the fourth.
right.
And for those individuals who are too familiar with the fourth and Patterson, it's one of the roughest motherfucking places in Patterson.
I used to teach there.
There you go. And this guy can still go there.
Right.
With no security. So that kind of tells you something that.
Well, maybe that's why he said he didn't do it. Maybe he thought about it after the fact.
I don't think he did it.
You don't think he did it?
I don't think he did it. I think he went through his little I miss Karuchi situation. But for this to come out of the woodwork, because they've been dating for about 2 years now. So it's not like they just started dating.
Right.
They just started getting the connection and anything. They've been dating for a while. And I think he was kind of over her when he smashed her best friend. And then she took him back after he smashed her best friend.
Right.
And then they had a threesome. So it's like, I don't know if he still feels some type of way about it.
Right.
But a lot of times there are people out there that will try to cause problems and try to get a rise out of the situation. I don't think he's.
Well, if he did, what's so wrong with that? I mean, can't he have an opinion about the guy?
I mean, the dude has a shirt on. He still looks like he lifted. He actually, to me, looks bigger than he did when he was playing.
Right.
And like again, he's a small dude. I ain't saying Chris is a punk, but I don't think Chris must see the hands. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and this is a lot of issues I have with people that are from the same clique.
Right.
MOBs out here, so, and then they're beefing with each other. It kind of like throws me. But no, I think she's the furthest thing from his mom.
But at the end of the day, you're going through social media. You're like everybody else. You're looking at the picture. You might have something to say about it, and then everybody wants to say, "Oh, you're not over her." He could be over her and still have something to say. Because I'm definitely over my situation, but I definitely have stuff to say when I can and if I feel like it. So why is it that
Which
you
means that I'm
can't?
over it.
Oh, I'm definitely over it. I'm definitely over it.
Look at you.
Listen, fair exchange has never been a robbery. So if somebody disrespects you, you don't have to respect them. You don't have to. It's not in the law books
It's like I
that
tell
say.
you, when you gotta go out your way to
It's not going out your way. You on Instagram. It's
Right,
right
but you still
there.
gotta type. You still gotta go type, you gotta
And
read
you
it.
feel so much better when you say that.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hear that.
I don't think that it necessarily means that just because an ex says something about their ex, that means they still want them, love them, need them,
Right.
care for them, respect them. It's like it's social media. You can see everybody says that's not for social media. This is all social media. What you feel about something, you put it out there and it's done. If you're not a celebrity, you can say whatever you want to say. But that's why when I become a celebrity, I guess I'll stop saying stuff too. But since I'm just almost famous, I still have the freedom of speech and of writing.
Again, I think them two, they had what they had.
Yeah.
And to make a breakup. But eventually you would move on. I think, I don't think Chris has settled down with one particular person
Right.
since, and she has her own show now where she's one of the stars of Claws. And she's dating Victor Cruz, and they're doing their thing, and a lot of people didn't know she was a stylist, and that's how she really started her career or whatever. I would really like to know the person who wrote it, like what he's supposed to have these halter tops like a lot of these other dudes, like what he's supposed to have on, like I don't know.
Yeah, but I agree that you should let it go. I do. After a while, I always talk about a grace period. So right now, it's popping between Wendy Williams and her ex-husband, because.
And I know you didn't want to talk about that. I was like, I'll let that one slide.
Well, we don't have to let it slide because 50 is in that too. Because when Kevin Hunter, this is all how it started. Wendy Williams said that Kevin Hunter was not allowing her when they were together to go out. Like she was just a show dog or whatever, show puppy.
Right.
Whereas he would let her do her show, but after that, she had to stay in the house. And he's saying that's not true, that she was just lazy. She didn't want to go out. She didn't want to mix and mingle. She didn't want to be on the red carpet. And 50 jumps into that and makes fun of both of them. So this, 50...
you gotta.
Listen, nobody's telling 50 not to do that. How come 50 is okay for him to do it?
The man's a genius. For a guy who, has been in the game as long as he has, to still be mentioned and still be as popular as he was back in there. That's a freaking genius.
Well, I have a little joke to crack on Miss Wendy.
What you got?
So I was thinking, what is this a riddle? What would Wendy's followers be called? If we have the Beehive for Beyonce, what would we call Wendy followers?
Widowers?
Bug eyes.
Shots fired.
So 50 was making fun of her eyes, saying that what kind of crack is she smoking, or what kind of drugs is she still on. And I just feel like I'm going to be like 50. I'm going to start trashing everybody and saying whatever I want to say.
I think he was
We got the
hacked.
Beehive, we got the Bug Eyes.
Shots fired. As far as Wendy's situation, the fact that he has a criminal record, her new boo, I don't feel any type of way about that. The only thing that really bothered me about this
You saw the video?
whole situation, was the fact that the son and the father got into a physical confrontation. That's the only thing that bothered me. It just goes to show you how ugly. If you think it's ugly in social media, imagine what it is ugly now outside of outside of the media when it's just them.
Divorce is not
I don't think it's just a
pretty.
divorce.
It's not pretty.
I don't think it's. I think a lot of things. It goes to show you how a lot of things have been said and done that we haven't heard yet, or that we may never hear. The fact that this guy, young man, would actually get into a fucking fist fight with his father.
Well, he's gonna protect his mother. I mean, at the end of the day, he's.
I mean, yeah, you can protect your mother, but now I've seen dudes, get into something like, when a man was beating the shit out of their mother. Yeah, I give you that.
Right.
But like, this is a man who just had a baby outside of marriage. He ain't never.
We don't know.
I mean?
We don't know what
When
he
they,
did.
I mean, shit, she's on TV every day unless she got the greatest makeup artist in the world. She ain't never show up to the show with no motherfucking two black eyes
he
or
might
nothing.
know where to hit her. He's definitely
You know
not
what
gonna hit
I
her in
mean?
the face.
Body shots will do it, but she always walked high or no heels, whatever. So, it's. This is a lot of lines I always say. You can always tell when something was said about the father outside or behind when the father wasn't around, and this is where you see it coming out now.
No, I don't think it's her saying anything. I think it's him seeing when he saw everything that his mother was going through in the marriage, they were still together. So he probably had a level of respect for his father because they were still a family. The fallout from now seeing what his mother's going through after everything, now he's had it up to here. Now he's ready to, first of all, he's going to protect her. And all of what he may have held in by maybe fearing his father or not feeling like he's the man of the house now it's coming out.
Okay. No, I give you that. But that's, I knew it wasn't over. I knew it was going to keep going. I knew it was going to get uglier and uglier and uglier.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have posted a picture with me and my new boo because immediately, somebody was going to do research and now he's a criminal. Everybody got backgrounds. He's the same person he was back in the days. But, at the end of the day, people want to talk about something. And you're giving them something to talk about. Okay, you found somebody new. Just be with that person. Why you got to post it?
Because as women, we go through the mud and we get dragged through it. And at the end of the day, he had another baby with somebody. So she's feeling like, well, at least I got to show that I have someone.
Get over it. That's your way.
We finally agree. Yes.
That's your way of getting over it. No, it's just like me, like when I see people who post something on Facebook of doing kindness. Why are you recording it? Like, to me, it takes that whole thing you've done and water it down. Just do it out of kindness. Don't do it to get views and all this other stuff. And I understand if somebody else saw you doing something, they ran up when you started filming, but a lot of these dudes are like, all right, ready, camera, action. All right, look at this homeless guy, and look at me give this guy a $5 cheeseburger or whatever. Like, that shit bothers me.
Well, fortunately, this is what we do, so we're able to talk about everything we do. So, this has been another great experience on Extra Toppings.
Agreed.
Are we coming back next week?
Absolutely.
It's next
Hold on,
week?
what's next week is?
Yeah, I was going to say, next week is not the end.
It's not the last. No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, so we'd like to have your comments, suggestions. We always have great stories for you. I do my research. So
That she does.
that's
one of the
one
best in
thing
the
we
game.
guarantee we'll have something good to talk about.
Guarantee. And in August, where we'll be on location, we'll be giving you all the information on that. So look forward to that. Otherwise, we will be back next Friday. So be ready. And we're going to have some more fun. Last words?
Yeah. Think of anything. I've never really been speechless before.
Your petty butt.
Everyone have a wonderful weekend. I want to say to all the fathers out there who are real fathers, who are taking the time to spend time with their kids, not just sending money to the courthouse for child support. Happy Father's Day.
Great, that is
I won't
true.
name any names. I'm going to say thank you to my
True,
dad
I'm talking
for
about
bringing
just
me
kidding.
into this world. I can't give nobody else props.
Shit.
So thank you.
She can't help herself. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy
Yes,
Father's Day
happy
to the
Father's
mothers
Day to you.
who are, thank you, who are doing both roles. Happy Father's Day to you too. For those fathers who, aren't real fathers, please don't celebrate this day if you're not a real father. Serious. You should be ashamed of yourself if you do that.
On
but
one day out the year.
There
yes.
you go. We will see you shortly. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
See y'all next time.